GameStop, what are you doing? If you've been a gamer long enough, you know of GameStop. It is widespread, it is mainstream, everyone's heard of it. Your first game, your first console probably came from a GameStop, and you've probably dealt with GameStop your entire life or at some point in your life. I used to love GameStop. I would go all the time. I would give them my money. I would trade in games, especially on the PS2. I don't trade in games anymore because I always have this nostalgic longing of, oh, I wish I had that game again. Oh, but money was tight and I needed that money. And that's one thing that GameStop does. They get off your money. So let's get one thing out of the way. Circle of life, okay? Everyone's talking about the circle of life, and I can't believe GameStop is doing this. Basically, what circle of life is, if GameStop sells a new game, then they have to sell a number of used games. So they're constantly pushing their used games and saying they don't have any new ones, but they have a bunch of used ones. So you might as well go with the used ones. Hold on a second. This has been happening to me since day one of GameStop. How is this a surprise to people? How are people like, oh, Circle of Life has changed GameStop for the worse? It's been this way. It's been this way since I was in high school. It's been this way forever. Don't act like this is a new thing. Don't act like, oh, GameStop, I can't believe they're selling out. They've been sellouts. I've always had a love-hate relationship with GameStop. I love it. I don't like them selling me stuff. I don't like them saying get a warranty. You know, you walk in, you're going to get the sales pitch. You walk out, you're going to get a sales pitch. You buy anything, you're going to get a sales pitch. It's nonstop. It's rampant, and it's a little annoying. I didn't discover this until I moved to Texas. Texas has the independent mom-and-pop independent game stores that Louisiana, frankly, is lacking. I wish Louisiana had more of them, and they're actually few and far between because GameStop is such a huge force in gaming. My brother has been using Best Buy. I have been using it a lot more for games, especially new games, because I know I'm getting what I pay for, and I know I'm not just going to get a used game that they're selling off as new, or a used game that every single employee in that store is used already. Here's why I'm talking about GameStop and why I'm talking about independent places, right? I said when you walk into GameStop, they sell you on everything. Walk in independent places, you just talk about games. And sure, there's some really cool GameStop employees who I can talk about games with all day. Whenever I walk into a mom and pop game store, it's awesome. We talk about Atari games, original Xbox games. We talk about PS2 games, which can't really talk about with GameStop people because they're constantly selling you. So they're going to talk about new games and new games alone because that's what we need to tell you. And if they do reference an old game, it's just to support the new game that's there so that they can sell it to you. They're constantly selling all the time. And when I walk into these independent game stores, they're like, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, nothing. Do I need a subscription to talk to you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, and I have a conversation with them. Whatever game I'm playing, whatever game I'm buying, they're like, oh, that's a cool game. Oh, that game kind of sucks. I'm like, yeah, but I want to try it. Blah, blah, blah. And yeah. So I love independent game stores because I can just talk forever. They usually sell the Retron 5 so that if you have old games or any of the Retrons, which are all this crazy system with all these ports where you can play a lot of retro games. I've been trying to collect Wii games. Whenever I see a Wii game that looks a little obscure, a little old, and very, very cheap, I grab it because I'm like, 20 years from now, this could be a rare find because right now is a great time to be collecting for the Wii, the PS3, and the 360. You needed something to collect, I'm not going retro. All my retro games were spread across my family, shared between me and my brothers and sisters, and then I maybe took a couple of games, they took a couple of games. My brother, youngest brother, he ended up with a bulk of stuff, but a lot of it's missing because certain family members would have came in and taken it. We have no idea what happened to most of our collection, and I'm very upset that, you know, we weren't able to keep track of it. So as of now, I guess I'm going to work at the Wii and then work my way from there when it comes to collecting because I do not trade in games anymore. I do not believe in that. I have the money to do it, and I don't know. I don't feel like I get good trade-in values at GameStop. Big surprise. But anyway, so I started collecting for the Wii U, and I noticed something. Went to the independent places. got a Wii game. Here's an example of a Wii game I got at the independent place. So there's a place called Apollo Games in Round Rock, and there's a place called Game Over Games in Round Rock. They're actually not that far away from each other. I went to one then the other, bought some games, and here's what they look like. I got Sega Superstar Tennis, right? I love tennis games. Got it. I mean, look, it looks great, right? It looks fantastic. Okay, that's cool. And then I got Super Monkey Ball. All right, that's cool. I got it. You know, I love Super Monkey Ball. I heard great things about this one. So yeah, I got Super Monkey Ball, right? And then I heard about a game that was coming out for the 3DS, and I heard that there was a Wii game for it, and it was called Rhythm Heaven, right? Very cool. Rhythm Heaven Fever, I'm sorry. Very cool Japanese game, almost like a WarioWare game. Very cool. Like it a lot. Then I go to Gamestop, and I get Tenchu Shadow Assassins. It's very cheap. I like the first Tenchu game. May not be good, but I'm collecting, so I get it. And no book. Zero book in there. Where's my book at? I pay for a book. You don't have any books. Then I really like the TV show Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law. It's got the game. Hey, guess what? No book. Zero book in there. None whatsoever. Then I got the first The Blob. I got the second one. For starters, no book. Number 2, a black case. What? Black? Yeah, I think if you have the chance, I started pre-ordering games at these independent stores because I don't know if I can support GameStop anymore. Sure, I get some really, really cheap $1 Wii games that are actually way less expensive than you can at the independent stores. But I don't know. They're going out of business. They're trying seedy business practices. If I were you, I would go to independent stores, Best Buy, Amazon even. Amazon's probably going to end up taking up all of gaming until we hit that digital future, but that's a whole nother conversation. But what do you think? What do you think about GameStop these days? Do you think it's cool? Do you think, like, you don't really care? Do you have a loyalty to GameStop because you've been going there for so long and that's all you know? Because that's some people I know. They've just been doing it for so long. Why would they do anything different? So, all right, this has been Game Rating Review. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see me do more of these things. And thank you for watching. And that was just my opinion on GameStop.